Brendan Kavanagh, amazing musician, godfather without whom Boogie Woogie would not exist, the worst enemy of this group of Chinese people. And now apparently he's a racist. But whoa. Before you make a video about me that receives 10 million views, cancel me from Japan to LA, that's racist, I'm from Malaysia.
But then,
what's a racist? A racist is a person who is characterized by or showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group. I'm not gonna lie, if you were watching this live stream carefully, you would probably seen a lot of parts that would have made Dr. K seem sus. Ask whether they were part of the Chinese Communist Party, say that they were clearly not familiar with democracy. Newton Leng's, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is racist now. Why are you discriminating against another country?"
but honestly speaking,
It is not as easy as you think it is. Now, it's no secret to anyone by this point that the whole reason that we received this gift to humanity
Do not touch her. Please. You are not the same age.
is that Brendan reached his hand out and tried to touch the Chinese flag. During the discussion, he asked them, "Are you in the Communist Party?" And that's where all the racist things started coming out.
now,
There is some validity to the idea that just because you're holding the flag of a certain country, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are the nationality of the country. I mean, let's take me for a moment. If you saw me on the street, you'd probably mistake me for a Chinese, to which I would say, that's racist. But yeah, so if I wave a flag and if I sing the Star Spangled Banner, then do I automatically become an American? So yes and oh no. If you aren't looking carefully, then you might think that it is prejudice. And you might continue to think that it is prejudice until you realize that it was a sensitive and fast-paced situation. Very little information was being provided, and if you think about it, there was actually quite a bit of confusion on his front about what this whole filming from the Chinese people was actually about. He didn't actually know that it was a situation involving a private arrangement. But later on, Newton came in and started confusing him with ideas really about image rights and a whole bunch of things of that nature right there, which naturally led to the confusion. So it became a tale of geopolitical struggle and one country trying to impose its laws in another, when actually that was not the situation at all. They were in the middle of a fight.
I mean, it's kind of obvious what happened there, no need to go into it.
If you were to see a bunch of people with Asian ethnicity holding Chinese flags, like, what are you gonna think? Are you gonna think that they're all from, I don't know, like Switzerland? Is that the most natural conclusion for you to come up with? It's pretty clear that Dr. K actually made an attempt to confirm where these guys were from.
Only to be completely noped out.
Newton Leng was trying to get the crowd essentially against Dr. K, said that he was racist and declined to provide further information. That's what he did exactly with the Adelina don't touch her thing to fight against Dr. K. And he was trying to now do it with racism after he realized that he couldn't succeed with the whole sexual harassment thing, thereby escalating the conversation up to the point where no actual discussion could really be had in the first place. It is for this and for many other reasons I don't believe that this is a racism issue. If it were a racism issue, then Dr. K would not have checked what country these people were from. He would not have interacted with Chinese people and also Asian people over the course of time. Don't think this touching scene with Adelina and also that one piano playing amazing view would have been possible if not for that. So, end of the day, I don't think it's fair to say that Brendan Kavanagh is a racist. But having said that, just because you're not a racist, that doesn't mean that you're not prejudiced. And based on what I could see, Brendan was in fact demonstrating a form of prejudice that he's taken on to a very large extent, even beyond the live stream itself. Essentially, a prejudice against communism. Now, I'm no communist, and I've read enough Animal Farm 1984 and thought enough about the consequences of the Great Leap Forward to recognize that communism is not really my cup of tea, and even modern day China doesn't really operate based on that model. But I do see that Dr. K has made some associations with communism which aren't entirely supported by evidence. For better or for worse, the whole situation with the piano was a kerfuffle with private individuals. It seems like a freedom of speech situation until you realize that it wasn't actually an attempt to impose the laws of another country. That was not the situation. It got twisted in that way because it's a very popular narrative and people tend to believe it. And fundamentally, if we had just left it at condemning Newton Leng's behavior and calling him a sot, that would have been great. But you know what's not great? Condemning an entire country of people or a political ideology that you don't agree with.
Using the freedom of speech, which is your right, but in the worst possible way.
Like, I'm not a communist, but I think that you shouldn't judge an entire social system just by the behavior of individuals. I think it's great to advocate for freedom of speech and for the rights of people under dictatorship, to also encourage people to enjoy the beauty of art and to freely express themselves no matter where it is that you go. But that's something that you can do without using stereotypes. If there were specific evidence that there was an arrangement from the Chinese government or the Communist Party to go right ahead and spy on Great Britain or otherwise, then that could be something to talk about. But fundamentally, I do not think that this matter should have been made into an East meets West cataclysmic clash between democracy, freedom, and authoritarianism matter as it has been. Because whether we like it or not, the key is for us to be able to coexist in this world. Frankly, I think that this issue has been overblown, and it would be great if we could just go back to our daily lives. Though of course, Dr. K, and I know that you're listening to this, I do respect the incredible work that you're doing out there in making people love music, to see the value of public performance, and to recall that creativity has a huge role in making people think, challenging authority, and so on and so forth. You know, I really hope that somehow or another, that you won't just succeed way more beyond what you're already doing at the moment, but you'll also be able to do it for the right reasons at the end of the day. Oh, and yes, as a Malaysian, I'm really looking forward to your collab with Namewee in the days ahead. Alright, and that's it for today's video, and see you soon.